Hello, you are listening to the OmniTalk Fast Five, brought to you in partnership with the A&M Consumer and Retail Group, Firework, SPS Commerce, and Sezzle. The big guys, Walmart, Target, and Home Depot, all reported earnings this week. Here are some of the highlights. So according to Retail Dive, on Tuesday, the Home Depot reported first quarter net sales fell 4.2% from a year ago, while comp sales also fell 4.5%. The company also updated its guidance, saying it now expects sales and comp sales to decline between 2 and 5% year over year compared to its previous guidance of flat. Then on Wednesday, CNBC reported that Target stuck with its full year outlook, saying it expects comp sales will range from a low single digit decline to a low single digit increase for the first fiscal year, coming off of flat first quarter comp. Target CEO Brian Cornell also made specific mention of organized crime a number of times, over 20, in fact, and said that Target expects shrink will reduce the retailer's profitability by more than $500 million compared with last year. And finally, this morning, Walmart raised its guidance for the year, after reporting U.S. same-store sales were up 7.4%, way ahead of analyst estimates of 5.5%, with digital sales coming in at a whopping 26%. Now, take a moment to digest all of that information.
Good job, Ann. That was a tough one.
It was a lot. So, David Brown, we're going to go to you first. What do you make of these three major retailers' earning reports right now? What lessons should we be taking away?
Yeah, I think what you're seeing, Ann, is I'm not surprised by any of it. It's value makes a lot of sense right now, right? Mm-hmm. So. And if you just look at, some of the retail reports that have come out in the last week, and it basically shows that spending is down in most categories, but up in grocery and up in consumables.
Yep.
And, if I marry that with just some of the conversations that we've been having in the industry, almost everybody is seeing kind of down traffic. I don't know if it's a combination of tax season or finally the catch up of inflation, or maybe people are spooked that our government won't get its act together and solve the debt ceiling. But there's a retreat to high value and a retreat to what people need the most, right? Which is groceries and consumables. So I think that you'll see eating out less and everything like that. So the places that provide food and basics at an extreme value or value, which is our Target. If you look at grocery outlets numbers, if you look at what I expect Dollar Tree or Dollar General to report, that's where you're seeing a lot of activity, and you're starting to see a lot of trade down activity as well, even from high income consumers. Right. So to me, the earnings for the industry are exactly in line with what I would expect.
Yeah, not great news for the retail industry, but hopefully good for consumers when it comes to inflation. Hopefully that means that we'll level out here in a little bit. Dave Ritter, what are your thoughts? You got some opinions on the old earnings reports this week?
I think David covered it quite well, but I'd add two things. I think it's not only a traffic problem. Outside of value, we're seeing basket sizes get smaller, and it's pretty clear that the consumer is tightening the belt. And I don't think we can highlight enough shrink's impact on earnings. It's unprecedented, and it's in almost every industry vertical is experiencing it. Beyond theft, even into fresh, we're seeing shrink levels go up. Obviously, that's going to be a weight on earnings going forward.
Yeah.
So Dave, you think that's a legitimate call out from Cornell then? You guys are hearing that across the board, across every retailer brand you're consulting with?
This is a major issue starting to pop. Some of our clients get over 10%, over 15% shrink, which in retail that makes that store untenable, frankly.
Yeah. And Dave, is what are the causes of that shrink? Because I think like we heard the Walgreens CEO come out and say like a lot of these retail CEOs are kind of overblowing the whole like shrink numbers, and they're using that as an excuse for, you know, a cover up for some other things that are going on behind the scenes. Is it actual retail theft that you're seeing? Is it more in they're deploying new types of technology and there's, you know, the wrong things getting scanned or extra stuff's getting accidentally put into a buy online, pick up in store order? Like, what are the causes of that?
I mean, I think it varies by store, right?
Yeah.
First off, I think, across the board, inventory accuracy has been a problem, especially as we move into an omni-channel world, which is driving some of it. We call it paper shrink. But I do think there are select, especially urban locations where retail theft is becoming a problem to the point where, you know, and with policies where security guards can't really stop people, it just becomes essentially you can walk out with, you know, up to $900 worth of stuff in California and not be prosecuted. So there's just in some cases, there's no way to stop it.
Right. Yeah. It's a really tricky position for retailers. That's for sure. Chris, what are your thoughts here? You want to jump in?
Yeah, I mean, I think too, you know, I think the macroeconomic factors are probably having to play on that too. When people are more budget constrained, you're going to see more activity in that arena as well. So I think that's also a play here. I mean, for me, I don't have much to add beyond what Dave and David already said, but I think the 2 points I would make is one, you know, kudos to Walmart and McMillan. I mean, they've just done a masterful job setting themselves up for success to succeed in this macroeconomic environment. In my opinion, the digital number is really outstanding, 26% increase to last year. That's in contrast to Walmart, to Target, where their digital sales fell.
Yeah.
And that's the other point I would make too, which is, you know, their sales declined almost 3.5%, just shy of that. So, you know, and it's probably due to the fact that people are spending less on discretionary items, which make up a larger portion of what people purchase at Target. Sure. Whereas the Walmart, you have to assume the converse of that, where that digital growth is actually still being fueled by non-discretionary items, which positions them very well in the market. So, you know, I'm a little worried about Target not, you know, revising their guidance here going forward. I think that could still be likely the case or something that we see in the future, but, you know, hard to tell at this time. But that's my one watch out is, okay, whoa, what happens to Target here in the back half of the year?
Yeah, I agree. Same questions for me, Chris. Like one, Target, if shrink is this big of a problem, like so much of a problem, $1 billion there that he's estimating. What are you doing about that? Like, what are you going to start putting in technology to try to avoid things like this from happening? The other thing too is that, you know, Chris, you called out the decline in online sales for Target. I'm curious, like anecdotally, I've seen a shift in my own purchases from there where this $35 threshold for shipping is now put into place, even if you're a red card holder, which used to be free shipping on a lot of products. And I wonder if that's, you know, that change, like we're going to talk about in some of the stories to come here, but this change to what's the threshold? Are you willing to spend $35 to get shipping from Target? Or is that driving more consumers in store to actually go purchase those items to save themselves, you know, that extra fee or hitting that minimum? So we'll see. Lots to come there.
It's all interesting. And Walmart, I haven't had a chance to read the full earnings announcements, but from the headlines I'm seeing too, Walmart didn't mention shrink at all, which is also very fascinating to me. So